East Africa, Kenyan President Uhuru Kenyatta has signed into law Friday a set of controversial new security measures that critics say will threaten civil liberties and free speech. The move comes just one day after lawmakers broke into fight on Thursday over approval of the measures. The amount of time terrorist suspects can be detained will be lengthened, and harsh punishments will be imposed on media outlets for distributing material deemed harmful to national security. The ruling Jubilee coalition has been pushing for the bill as a way to better enable the country to combat a rising threat of terrorism, namely the Somalia-based militant group Al-Shabaab. Well, for more insight into Kenya's security bill, I'm joined on the phone from Nairobi by Edwin Nyutho. He's a journalism lecturer at the University of Nairobi. Mr. Nyutho, welcome to Africa 54.
Thank you.
Now, first, as far as the media is concerned, many journalists in Kenya, media houses are protesting this bill. How concerned are you personally that it might curtail some of the freedoms that have been enjoyed for a long time now?
Well, I think the first thing to remember is that these are no ordinary times. And, times like this, where lives of the Kenyan people are under threat, we need to adapt extraordinary circumstances. And for me, the bills that have been passed in the right spirit of trying to save the Kenyans' lives.
Now, some would say that there are already laws in place, including an anti-terrorism bill that was there, that all it needed is to be implemented properly and more effectively, and that there could be a possibility and actually a danger of politicians manipulating the law and some of these clauses especially to suppress freedom of expression.
But those bills were not passed when, a situation like the one we are in now was in place. We must first of all understand terror and how to fight it. Because normally terrorism's intention is to not just kill, but to terrify, to fill entire populations with fear. And the media sometimes can play up to the terrorists by reporting the terrorists act in rather negligent ways. And so for us to be able to cope with the terrorism, we must first of all deny them that publicity, deny them that victory that they would want to celebrate. Now, and for me, that's very, very important.
Now, how should the material that could be harmful to national security be defined, and who will define this?
Well, there are few issues, of course, which are in contention, between the media owners and the security agents. But the delay, eventually to be the bone of contention, it appears as if is the delay that is being imposed, that the media must corroborate, must verify, must wait, and get cleared by the police before they report some of the victims. And to me, that's a very, very small sacrifice for the sake of national security.
Now, in terms of the other rights that people are talking about, including holding people for up to a year, is that something that many people think is necessarily bad, given that these are extraordinary times, as you say?
To me, the most fundamental right is the right to life. And any bill that is passed to warrant the Kenyans' right to life, I think to me that is much more important than the other secondary enjoyments of the other freedoms. Obviously, when there are situations like this, I think we as Kenyans need to know that we must sacrifice a bit of our individual rights and freedoms for the sake of national security.
Mr. Nyutho, thank you very much for your insights. Well, Edwin Nyutho is a journalism lecturer at the University of Nairobi.